What's up, guys? Trevor with E-commerce Paradise. Today I wanted to do a store teardown. Just sort of a video. I'm going to walk through this store. I'm going to show you guys what they're doing and what kind of like signals to me that, they're doing quite well. I know the person who built this store. They actually sold it, I think, about a year ago or so. So I do not know the person that owns it now. I know that they have changed the website quite a bit, updated the theme and whatnot, and some of the marketing stuff probably. I am not sure how they're doing now, but I know that these guys did quite well in the past. I do want to say, though, number one, it's mostly because they, number one, chose a specific sub niche. So a sub niche. So they didn't just do an electric bike store, although that's how they started. They chose to pursue the hunting niche within electric bikes. So there are like a few companies within electric bike companies that offer these, off-roading style e-bikes that are specifically made for hunting with certain specifications and features that hunters need, like these big fat tires to get through mud, stronger motors, bigger batteries that last longer, double batteries. Even I've seen ones that have two front wheels on them, big racks and whatnot, and just more comfortable, seats. And there's just tons of interesting things that they did just specifically for this niche of people that wanted a vehicle to go off-road with. Way off-road, like far off-road where it's kind of dangerous, into the backcountry, and also stay really quiet. Because I know a lot of hunters back in the day, they'd use, dirt bikes and whatnot, or, if it's, really cold and snowy, they use obviously like snowmobiles and whatnot. But, these things are really popular because they're silent or very close to being silent. And they're quite powerful. The way they, the technology really improved since like 12-ish when I really started selling them. The technology improved a lot. I think this guy started his store back around 2018, possibly 2019, when I had my first coaching call with him, where he wasn't really doing much sales back then. And then after the first coaching call, he kind of went from there and he started making a lot of improvements. And he kind of went down the road of doing SEO instead of focusing on Google Shopping ads, which turned out to be a great decision because for him, he actually ended up getting suspended from Google Merchant Center. And so his Google Shopping ads stopped running, right after his business started doing really well. So if he was just relying solely on that, he would have been totally screwed. But instead, he was going out there getting backlinks from different websites, forums and educational websites and things like that. And Google saw that, and so they boosted up the rankings of the product pages that were really popular products. And that ended up resulting in a ton of organic sales for him. And the other thing that he did beyond just that was he ended up getting on board with some of the top, selling hunting e-bike brands that are very, very difficult to get on board with unless you know them in person. The main one being Backhow, which used to be called Backcountry e-bikes. So Backhow is a brand of e-bikes that is, an off-roading brand. It's a boutique brand. They just sell this hunting style e-bike setup, and they just have basically this one product. I'm gonna actually start going through the website here, but I wanted to just give this explainer because I want you guys to know what it takes to be successful with this business model. You can throw everything at the wall and have tons of different suppliers and just get all these random suppliers that will sign anybody up. But oftentimes, if you just go about it that way, you're not going to do very well. You're going to basically burn a ton of ad spend for just, a few amount of sales, and the sales you do get are going to end up being out of stock. You're going to take back orders, and those are super sketchy. Sometimes they get canceled. You're going to end up getting, deliveries that have damage and whatnot, and you have to deal with that, and you're going to get chargebacks. And so it's a huge mess. So the way to make this model work for a very small business owner that doesn't have a ton of money to keep investing in it over time, that you want to bootstrap it, right, is you've got to pick a sub niche, a sub niche, a super little niche down niche of a niche like this guy did, and get connected with those top brands in that niche. And really, it's all about networking. You got to network with these people. You got to go to the trade shows and meet them in person. You've got to go to their warehouse and meet them in person. This is the kind of stuff I did when I first started selling fixed gear bicycles online in 2011. I would go to the warehouses where these people, businesses were in Los Angeles, and I talked to them and I bought some of their bikes and used them in person. I made YouTube videos reviewing them and assembling them and all that stuff. And it resulted in top organic rankings for me because I had all this unique content. It was, brands that were best-selling brands and that were fairly new brands. And so it wasn't that ton of competition yet. And I was the only one that was doing content about the actual product. So, you just got to find something. It's very difficult these days because this stuff has been going on for a long time now. And so a lot of people have been jumping in on it, a lot of scammers too. And so the platforms make it very difficult to get on board with. But if you can do a lot of research and find something that's going to work for you, that's very, very niche down, very, very specific like this, then you can go with that and work with that. But that's what I would recommend doing. So without further ado, I'm going to click out of this thing. But the first thing you should have on your website that this guy has right here, right off the bat, when you come to his website after a few seconds of being on there, is a pop-up that asks for an email address. And usually it's offering a discount. And so, usually traffic is going to be coming, like you're really focusing on sending product page specific traffic that comes from people that are typing in product keywords into Google. That's the kind of low-hanging fruit traffic that you need to go for. Don't go for generic keywords. Really, those types of people are in a long buying journey. They're going to have to do a lot of research. You can make blog posts like the top 10 best, hunting electric bikes of 2026 or something like that, right? And then that's going to get some generic traffic that will then filter down through into the brands and products you recommend to that category. People will consider it. Maybe they'll get on your email list. Maybe you'll get a retargeting pixel or something. And then over time, some people, they buy right away. They just have tons of money and $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for them is an impulse buy decision. But a lot of people don't, okay? So they have to consider what they're buying first. And sometimes people are just making larger purchases for like a group of friends or something. So they have to get everything together and figure out like who needs to buy what. But yeah, an email pop-up is really good. You got to have that because if that person landed on that page from a particular keyword they know what they're looking for, a traffic source, like Google Shopping or even Google Organics or something like that, they probably already trust you and they're probably already interested in buying that product. So offering them something for the email address is a great idea because it's going to allow you to follow up. Now, one of the tricky ways that I was able to figure this out on mobile, because keep in mind, this is desktop, okay? And mobile and desktop are two completely different things. Mobile and tablet are very similar, but mobile and desktop are completely different. So you have to optimize for both. Now, if you do this kind of pop-up thing on mobile, oftentimes it kills your conversion rate because these things will block the entire screen on mobile. And then people will just see that and they'll click back to whatever they were looking at and go to the next thing that doesn't block their entire screen. So what I usually do is I make these email pop-ups only for desktop because you can see that you can still see the rest of the website and people can easily just click out and get back to the website. And on mobile, what you can do, which is a great idea, is you can have a live chat app either on the bottom right or the bottom left. And you can have it actually show a little pop-up. And Tidio is one of the really good ones to do this, but they're expensive. You can go with Shopify Chat, I believe it's called. They have like a live chat app with Shopify that's free you can use. But either way, what it's going to do is going to have a little pop-up that says, hey, how you doing? If you need anything, let us know, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to ask for their name and email address if they want to chat. And so oftentimes you can put like a little thing, if you want a 5% discount, and then they hit yes, and then, okay, great, what's your email address? Boom. So you can do a little thing on mobile on live chat because it doesn't take up the whole screen, and it feels like a conversation, so it's engaging. It's not just like an email pop-up that's like, advertising promotion. Okay, so let's get past that. So that's the first thing you should do. I'm going to go ahead and just go through this website now, and you'll get some idea on things you can do. But as you can see, the email pop-up was there. Now it's not, but they have a little tab here. So, if the person accidentally clicked out, they can still see it. So that's a great idea. You should definitely do that. And you can set that up with Klaviyo. And by the way, all the software that I'm going to mention in this video is in our website and also in the description of this video. So ecommerceparadise.com goes to a link tree at the bottom. There's all the resources. And in this video at the bottom of the description, I also mentioned, so you can see links for all this stuff. You can sign up for it. This is on Shopify, by the way, which is the e-commerce platform I recommend using. So if you are not on Shopify yet, go click the link in the description. Get $1 for the first 3 months. $1 per month for the first 3 months, but let's go check it out. So first and foremost, if you see their homepage here, above the fold, you have this big, beautiful banner. Now, a lot of websites, they just do a image, but this one's actually using a video, and it loaded pretty quick for me. So this is really cool and neat, especially for this niche where they have like this brand that already made this marketing video that they turned into like, it seems like a little bit pixelated, but it's probably because it's lower quality, so that it loads faster. But having a video as a banner is actually a really neat way to have a website, and a lot of the the brands themselves will do this. So consider doing that instead of just having a standalone image. But basically the main thing is you just want to say what is the thing that you sell right here, and you don't need to do a bunch of like salesy stuff. Having a sale notification is good for like Black Friday and Cyber Monday and stuff like that. So being that it's that time of year, I don't know why they're not doing something like that, but I think it's because they sold the website and the owner probably doesn't, update it too much. But it's just pretty clear exactly what they sell and how to start, so it's a call to action, and it probably takes them right to the main, collection page and their main bestsellers, sort by featured. It's probably similar to the best selling. Let's see if it changes. Yeah, it's similar. So they're definitely sorting by the bestsellers. And as you can see, this website sold a lot of e-bikes, 73 reviews, 25, 15 reviews, 24. So they're all over the place. They probably got some newer models that just popped in. That's why some of them don't have any reviews. And again, as you can see, Backcow, which, used to be called Backcountry, they are the top selling brand. And the next one, it looks like, possibly is Rungu, which is that one I was talking about, where it's like the two front tires that, probably help stabilize when you're going through mud and stuff like that. But obviously it's a lot, heavier as well. And then the next best-selling one, the one that I was selling really well, was Rambo. And Rambo obviously is like really well built, and they have a little bit better branding. Rambo is like really well recognized and like from the movies and stuff like that. So I don't know how they were able to copyright that, but that's pretty cool. Good for them. Hemingway, they got a few extra like fat tire style bikes that aren't really specific for hunting, but are a little bit less expensive. Uniroute's like a Chinese brand. Bike on it, kind of a smaller business I worked with, kind of a little bit sketchy. I don't know if I'd recommend doing business with them, but Christini. And that's a kind of thing I want to go over too, is when you're down the road with some of these suppliers and you start having weird issues with them, like especially inventory issues where like you sell something that's supposed to be stock and it's not in stock, or, it's like they say it's in stock at first, then all of a sudden it's not in stock. If you have weird sketchy issues like that, you should definitely reconsider whether you should continue selling them or not, or just kind of don't put as much into selling them. Don't put investment into marketing them and stuff like that. Just kind of let them sit on your website and see if they sell. Just FYI on that. And especially in this niche, especially years ago, I don't know, maybe now it's a little bit more solidified, and there's always kind of new brands coming out, and like old brands are going bankrupt. Like it's just one of these like new kind of technology niches. So just be careful when you're working in niches like this. This can be a lot of damaged products, a lot of, weird technological issues. But here's something that they're doing that's really smart, is doing package listings where they have two products in a package, which is really cool, because obviously someone could do it themselves. They just chose two in a listing. But when you do it like this, it kind of makes it, especially with the picture, it makes it like, a little bit more enticing for the customer. All right, and then they're offering really clearly that they have financing. I think that's one of the most important things you do for high-ticket e-commerce, is you've got to offer financing. Let's look at one of their product pages, kind of tear it down. I can point out some things they're doing really good. Number one, the product title. So you should always have the brand first, and then the model name after that, and then a sub-model name that comes with that. So usually it's like a base model name, sub-model name, that kind of thing. So like Backhow Mule, and there might be different versions of Mule. So one's like the Elite. And then the category keyword. I usually say like the main category keyword is electric bike, but theirs is electric hunting bike. What you could also do is you could put more keywords into this, say electric hunting mountain bike or electric mountain hunting bike, or you know what I mean? Like make it more dense. You could add more keywords. But for them, I don't think it really matters. I think, a hunting bike specifically is a mountain bike, so it's not like you really need to do that. If you have a little bit broader site, though, it might be a good idea to do that, and it's good for SEO as well. Just depends what you're selling. You should always have, number one, if you have reviews, and you should always be curating reviews in the beginning from your suppliers, but you should always show your reviews right here first. And this should be a clickable link, so they should make this clickable, and when you click it, it scrolls you down automatically to the reviews, because some people just want to see reviews right off the bat. Like that's the first thing they're looking for is reviews. I noticed, and if you install something like Lucky Orange on your website, or Microsoft Clarity is a free version of that. But if you install that, you'll see what people tend to do on your website. And a lot of times I notice people go straight to the reviews because that's what they want to see. They want to see, is it a good company? Are the products getting delivered properly? Are these even real reviews? So they're going to look for that check mark, And a little bit of a life hack, but if you want to curate reviews and have it show the check mark, you just have to put an order into your store using an email address and use that same email to make reviews yourself. But I don't really recommend doing that much. Just, maybe curate a few reviews in the beginning, but you want to make sure that the reviews that you're putting on your store are real reviews. Okay. So don't just make up a bunch of fake reviews. But next one is pricing. So you want to make sure almost always, unless the manufacturer doesn't like it, have a sale price. Usually the MSRP is set by the manufacturer, and sometimes the manufacturer doesn't set MSRP, so the dealer sets it, and then it's totally up to you whether you do that or not. But a little bit of a hack here is that instead of just having the sale price and the top prices, you can put the amount that they're getting off as well as the percentage amount. So I've done that on my previous sites here. So this isn't as optimized as it could be. It could be showing the percentage off and the dollar amount off, but putting tax included here is actually really, really cool optimization, because you got to think when somebody's landing on a website, the first few things they're thinking about to themselves is it going to ship for free? Is there going to be extra tax included, in the cart? And do they have all, the add-on options that I want to do? And do they have financing? So you got to address all that stuff right away. Another thing that you should address right away that they aren't doing here for some reason, they might be doing it lower on, but are you an authorized dealer? Because sometimes people go to websites that aren't authorized dealers and buy stuff and realize that they don't have the warranty for the product because it wasn't sold through an authorized dealer. So people want to know that you're an authorized dealer, and it comes with a full warranty. Here also, I don't like how they have the description in just one little thing. The description should be the full page wide, but that's not that big of a deal. You can still read it perfectly fine. But they have like extra tabs for shipping, returns, financing. You should definitely be including all this stuff on the product page. Let's go down and see what else they're doing pretty good. They have the different options here. They have little, color swaps of it, which is cool. And it changes the image here, which is nice. So that's definitely something that's good. Looks like for whatever reason, the battery options are all sold out. So I don't know if that's like a problem on their website or if it's just out of stock. But yeah, it looks like it's sold out. So this particular one looks like all the different battery options are sold out. They might be using some sort of a spreadsheet to update this, and that's why. It kind of makes sense. Let's go back and find one that's not sold out. And it kind of sucks because like right here, it doesn't show sold out, but it should show sold out if it's sold out on the product page. And same here. So it looks like a lot of their products are sold out, and that might just be from Black Friday sales. Here's one, for example. Okay. So we can choose black. Oh, no, we can't. Okay. Oh, so what it is probably that some colors aren't sold out and some are. So it's a little bit confusing. What I used to do to avoid this kind of confusion from happening, for customers is I would put it like all the variant options in one drop down menu. Yeah, see with matte black, there is one, but for camouflage, they're out of stock, right? So that's how it is. But that's a little bit confusing for consumers. And so I don't know about these swatches so much. I don't really like them as much as just having the options available in the drop down. And also when something's out of stock, you should show like when it's expected back. That's obviously not super easy to do, especially in the beginning, but over time you'll realize it's a great idea, or at least have some sort of a place for someone to put an email address to get notified when it's back in stock. All right, so we're here. Looks like they have like a little extra coupon code, which is really cool. $250 off orders over 4,000. This one's over 4,000, so that matches. So that's great. Great work there, guys. And the only thing I'd say is I'd probably brighten this box up a bit. It's dark green, so it's kind of hard to see apart from the add to cart button. You want these to look different from each other. I would say add to cart, you should probably make it like a orangey color, like this add selected to cart. And this one probably more of a brighter, maybe even just like white background with black text with a dot around it. Makes it look like a coupon. That's what I did in my site in the past. That worked really well. A little bit tacky, sure, but it definitely looks like a coupon, so it works. And again, it depends on your target market too. If it's younger kids, they don't really see that, but older people, they used to do coupon clipping when they were younger, so it makes sense for them, right? So it really depends on the target market you're selling to. But this is good, frequently bought together. But the extended warranty thing should definitely be like selectable right here as well, not just right here, because maybe I don't want to buy, in this format, but I just want to be able to select the warranty right here. So this isn't super optimized, but it's still there, which is good. So you can get the warranty extension, and I'm not sure how they're offering that. Let's see. And when you're looking at competitor sites, it's always a great idea to look at, what extra things are they offering to their community that you could offer to yours, So here they have an extended warranty, but I think they're selling it directly, or they're working directly with the manufacturer on it, possibly, because it doesn't say anything about like a specific warranty company. Because sometimes the warranty companies themselves will do it. Like there's Extend, there's CPS, there's certain warranty companies you can get with your website. All right, so let's go ahead and look more. We got pannier bags. So one thing to always look at is average order value optimization. So when you're, selling a product, what can I sell to kind of pimp out this product, to make this product really, really useful and really cool looking, obviously a bag for the back is a great start, but it's just one thing. Like you could probably offer at least 5 or 10 different things that somebody could add to this product. Now, maybe they're not trying to overwhelm people in the beginning, but I've had it where it's like people love just like adding on stuff to their product, so having a list of like 5 to 10 different add-ons for a particular product just in a checklist format is a great idea. Just have the price, and you can do the same thing, where you have like the price it's at and the price it's normally at, so you're actually saving money on that kind of stuff. So here you have a great example of like a features list kind of built into it. You have like, bonuses like free shipping. You save $250. So it's like they're putting a value on that free shipping. It's not just free, but it actually normally costs money, right? So that, they're not just like getting something that's normally free. Also here you see there's a free rear rack, there's a rear fender and tire liner, saving you up to $120. Now that's probably what's normally included in the bike, but they've taken that and they've put it right here, which is a great idea. You should always look at products and think, what can I take out of that product that's already there and make it like a free bonus? Because people read these descriptions, okay? So don't think people don't read descriptions. Descriptions are super important with high-ticket e-commerce, okay? They're going to read those descriptions. They're going to be really careful. They're going to do lots of research. Motor, Bafang Ultramotor. Now, if they just left it there, most people be like, all right, well, what is this thing? They're going to have to search Google for that. But here it says it climbs like a mountain goat. Now that gives somebody a great impression in their mind. Like they can use their imagination, like that'll climb up the steepest hills. It just goes, So that's a great idea. I love that, how they're using this like imagination building phrase right here instead of just putting what it is and how strong it is. Range 40 plus miles. That's and over time in your niche, when you're selling, you're going to get questions. Okay. Like how far does it go if it's a product like this, or like how long does it last, or like how cold does it make the wine if it's a wine cooler, that kind of stuff. So when you get questions like that, always look at your description and be like, okay, how can I improve this product description? How can I make it better? All right, because those are things you can definitely do. So range 40 plus miles, stay out longer and go further on a single charge. So they're not just putting that it goes, but they're saying, hey, this is the benefit of that feature. So that's what this is all about. It's feature plus benefit. Feature, load capacity, 350 pounds. Benefit, carries lots of gear so you don't have to break a sweat and give away your scent. And it kind of like almost rhymes, so that's cool too. I mean, whoever did the copyright on this, bravo, that's good work. Size, 18-inch frame, 29.5-inch standover height, perfect for 5'8" and up. So there you go. So it's like they broke down the frame, and if you don't already know, it's good for people that are 5'8" and up. So if the person's looking to buy, he's like 5'6", he's like, crap, I need a smaller bike. This is not going to work very well. Now what they could do here is they could say, hey, if you're under 5'8", go check out this model. That would be a neat idea. Stealth, it's whisper quiet so you don't spook the game. So again, they're talking to the target market. They're not just telling you the features of the bike. Because, if you look at some of these manufacturers and their websites, all they do is mention the features. They don't hire professional copywriters. And your job as an e-commerce marketer is you can be that professional marketer. You can be that professional copywriter. So you're bringing something to the table. And instead of having to work a 9 to 5, being a marketer for a big company, you can have your own business. You do the marketing yourself ahead of time, and you get paid later in dividends because it's your own business. You get to spend that money however you want to. You can, you do a bunch of work up front for the first few months, and then later on for the next few years, you get to kind of just like chill, sit back, manage things. But, generally speaking, all the hard work is done in the beginning. Now, it's the same hard work you'd be doing at a day job, maybe a little bit harder because you're just like really trying to grind to get out of the current situation you're in. But yeah, generally speaking, this is the kind of stuff you got to do. So it's just like little things, really tiny things. Copywriting is really important. Stealth, it's whisper quiet so you don't spook the game. Just think about your target market. What are they trying to achieve? What is it that they want to get out of this product? What problem is it solving? What itch is it scratching? That kind of stuff. So that's what you got to think about. Stay safe. It's fast and agile so you can get out of a potentially dangerous situation in seconds. Boom. Yeah. What if you're out in the woods and you're hunting and a freaking bear shows up, a grizzly, holy hell, I hope you got some bear spray on you, but dang, hop on that bike and fucking mob it. Although, I don't know, man, most of the time those things will chase you down even on one of those e-bikes. And if you eat shit, you're totally done. So just really stay safe. But yeah, keep your eyes open. I don't know. I'm not a hunter. I'm not trying to put myself in that situation. But hunters would know, and they probably understand it. I'm just using my imagination right now. I've been out in the woods before. I've gone backpacking and camping plenty of times. I know how it is. Anyway, so here, note the backhoe Mute Elite no longer comes with a front mud fender and headlight. We recommend the 220 Lumen Pro mount electric bike headlight. So that's cool, but where is that up here? Why can't I buy that up here? They could definitely be adding that right here in this frequently bought together section. They should be making this quite a bit longer with a bunch of different options. I would definitely do that, especially if they're mentioning it down here in the description. Linking to it, I don't know. In the past, I've had mixed results with linking to stuff from product descriptions, because a lot of times when somebody lands on your product, you don't want them to leave. You want them to get all the information they can get right then and there and buy it right then and there. Also, you don't want them to get distracted with a lower cost product. You want to sell them that product that they're interested in at that price, right? So giving them a link to a light, it's going to send them to a light sales page, and then they're going to get distracted and wait, I wasn't looking for a light, and subconsciously they're like, oh shit, I should check my Instagram feed, because it's just easier than dealing with this right now. I'm trying to figure out this stupid website and how it works. A lot of people are like that. They don't know how to use web browsers very well, that kind of stuff. Everybody's different. Some people are on mobile and it's super distracting. They get a notification from their friend, they click out, things happen. So don't put links, but highlight and give them the ability to buy whatever it is that you're recommending in that product page at the top. Another thing that I used to do that worked really well is actually having a double add to cart button. So a second add to cart section right at the bottom of the product page, right here, after everything else is said and done. Because then they don't have to scroll back up to the top. It's really easy. But a lot of themes don't have that built in, and so a lot of people don't get that. Plus, we had problems with it too. Like, you can't put all the same add-ons in that bottom section. It's only really good for buying the actual product itself, the main product. So yeah, it had issues too. Anyway, so let's read through more of this copyright. I think it's pretty good. Hit the trails with e-bike generation's backhouse sale, where rugged performance meets serious savings. For a limited time, you can save up to $900, top tier models, blah, blah, blah. Whether you're chasing game or chasing freedom, these e-bikes are built for bold adventures. Don't miss out. Gear up and grab the deal before it's gone. It might be some ChatGPT there, but yeah, it does seem decent. And here's a bit about the brand, right? So, and obviously the product still itself. What they did though is they actually, as you can see here, you can go to YouTube and watch this, but e-bike generation went to, it looks like a trade show or the warehouse themselves, and sat down with the people and talked to them, and did like an overview of the product. So I'm not sure who this guy is, but I'm assuming he's the guy that bought it from the previous owner, because this is not the original owner. But regardless of that, I think it's a really good idea to go out and talk to the owners of the companies you're working with and just build relationships with them. You're going to be friends, and you're going to have like mutual trust and respect built into the relationship then. And then you're going to be like head and shoulders above your competition, because you're always going to be able to talk to the suppliers, and those brands are always going to give you, first dibs of new inventory and whatnot. So just do that. Choose a niche where you're willing to do that. I think that's one of the main things, and just go out and do it. It's great for business, really. Working with brands that have already done videos for their products as well is a great idea, because then you have videos to work with. They should have already done these. If brands don't do these for their products, maybe it's because they just have tons of products. For whatever reason, though, it's harder to sell products that don't have videos already made reviewing them, sales videos. And it looks like the Mule is a specific type of product that is different from a lot of others in the market, and they're going over that here, which is really good. So I would just say, you can look at this website and just take a lot of their sales copy out and read through it. I mean, people that are old and buy stuff that are expensive, they read this kind of stuff. So don't skimp on your product descriptions. Add plenty of multimedia, as you can see, lots of images here. Lots of video. Yeah, videos can slow your site down, but at the same time, it also provides people with the information they need to make that purchase. All right, so let's just go see really quick here what their cart page looks like. Okay, so it's not even sending them to a cart page. In my opinion, it's not terrible, but it's not the best thing either. A cart page is great because it also gives you the ability to answer some frequently asked questions, and just to kind of continue the sale process to get them to go to checkout by, again, offering that coupon and whatnot. But it can take longer to load too. This is a little bit faster, so it's a bit easier. They have 2 buttons here, keep shopping and checkout. Let's just go to checkout and see what they got going on. I'm assuming it's the regular Shopify checkout, and it is. But up here, you can see that they did a little bit of customization. And this, again, is for the niche. So this is like a camouflage pattern, right? And so when you customize your site in this way, it just gives people that like boutique expert, online retailer experience, like they're in like a boutique shop, and they're using their imagination, and it's subliminal, subconscious, and it works really well. And it's in their logo too. Their logo is really unique. It's like the cog of a bicycle, and you got the pedal and everything, but then you got the horns and the face of like an elk or whatever, so that's pretty cool. I like what they did there. And again, checkout, pay now button is orange. It's the all-in-one checkout page now, which, Google or Shopify uses, which is really good. Discount code is really easy to see. So I think it's great. Last thing, these guys only have like 7 brands. They don't have that many brands, and that's kind of crazy to think. Like, I'm pretty sure the store in its heyday was doing well over $200,000-$300,000 a month. I'm not sure if it's doing that now, but yeah, it's really because of this Backout brand and Rambo, Rungu. It's like a few different brands. And that's always what you're going to find, especially in like boutique sites. You're only going to have like a few brands that bring in most of the sales, and it's so much easier to manage that way too, because oftentimes with products you're going to have multiple variants, right? This one has 4 colors, 3 different types of batteries, and so that's up to 1, 2, 3 times 4 is 12. So you're gonna have 12 different variant SKUs to keep track of for each product. There could be more, so, and of course there's all the accessories, there's warranties, so you have plenty to deal with already, with a small selection of products, with a small selection of brands. You really got to do your research and find out, which brands you really want to hook up with, and just make an informed decision. Try to figure out how it's going to work for you really well before you get started. Because if you just get started and throw everything at the wall, oftentimes you're just going to do the same thing everybody else does. Most people, what they do is they throw up a website for a few $100. They get some of the suppliers that'll open with almost anybody. They have decent margins, whatever. They put up Google shopping ads, maybe Microsoft shopping ads, they get email marketing going, all that stuff. All right, it's fine. But then they start realizing, there's issues with inventory. They'll get sales. Certain stuff is out of stock. There's issues with, pricing. Pricing is updated. They got to update their site consistently, and it's kind of annoying. They'll get sales where the price is already changed and it went up, and now it's not profitable. You got to ask the customer for more money, or people won't even buy it just because the price is too high and the price changed lower, and you don't have that close relationship with the supplier, so they didn't tell you about it, and so your website is showing a higher price to your competitors. It's just. There's no like fully automated way to run one of these businesses. And so communication is everything. Communication is key with all of your suppliers. So you got to talk to them. You got to see like, okay, who are these people, and like how to get things updated and stuff like that. Cause that's your warehouse. That's who is going to ship out these products. You're an online salesman, really, an online marketer, and hopefully people buy from your site. But oftentimes what happens is like they start running Google shopping ads. They run up, start running 50, 100, $150 a day in ads, maybe $300 a day in ads, or something like that, right? And then they start getting like maybe 10x ROAS, 5x to 10x ROAS, which means return on ad spend, which is like if you spend $100, 10x would be $1,000 in revenue. And maybe you get like, a couple sales, maybe you don't get any sales, and it just kind of goes on like that. And your average like monthly is like 30 to 50K a month, which is decent. But when you start looking at all of your net costs, like your software expenses, your shipping costs, your advertising costs, all that stuff, and it's going to start running up a lot. You start realizing these businesses aren't really that profitable in the beginning, right? It takes a long time to get them to be that profitable level, and sometimes they'll be more profitable certain times of the year than others. Like, I guarantee you this business is way more profitable like late summer and into the fall than it is in the spring, just because the niche they're selling, hunting season is, like November. It's the end of the year, right? So of course their busy season is going to be one part of the year, whereas the rest of the year is not going to be as busy. And there's probably going to be certain parts of the year where it's completely dead. It just is what it is. So you just got to keep in mind that like this, just like any other business, is going to have ups and downs. It's going to have cash flow problems, right? So, sometimes a customer, they'll get an e-bike delivered, it's damaged, and so they're going to have problems. It's, they're going to file a chargeback or something like that. Things like this happen, and you just have to start accepting the fact that, you need to build cash reserves to cover cash flow deficits, and it is what it is. It's a part of doing business. So get used to it. And if you're not ready for it, I would say, do something else. Get into some other kind of business that you can do that doesn't, require so much work and effort, continual maintenance and whatnot, and relying so much on suppliers and marketing platforms to help you to sell stuff. But there's not a whole lot of business models out there that are as easy to start as one of these. So there's kind of like a trade-off. It's easy to start, but at the same time, it's a pain in the butt to keep managing and stuff like that. So I guess I'll stop my rambling, but I'm glad that you guys can look at this website at least and get some ideas, because there's a lot of good content on this website, and they did a great job building it, and just targeting that specific niche, getting backlinks, doing a ton of SEO work here. As you can see, they got the user-generated content with the reviews, which is really important. They're showing it off, and yeah, you can look at some of the content they made. Top outfitters by state, e-bike laws. I don't know who this is, but it's probably like a popular, person that did like specific content on their website or something like that, which is really cool. So they kind of linked with people in their niche, which is great. They have like a big military discount thing, affiliate program, just a link that says, where's my stuff, which is nice. Again, you should always have a phone number people can call you at. It doesn't have to be an 800 number. 800 numbers are great, but having a local number is fine too, and it saves you a bit of money. As long as you're answering the phone during business hours, it's the most important thing. Here it just says 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. EST. It should say what days of the week that is. Maybe it's Monday through Sunday. I don't know. But if it isn't, then it should be Monday through Friday, that kind of thing. You got to be really specific. Also, another thing too, it's very difficult to launch new sites on Google Merchant Center these days. They're very strict, and so you have to be very careful. And you got to include your business address. And also, you can't just use a virtual mailbox anymore for your business address. Google Merchant Center is really good at finding out that your business address is not actually your business address. It's the address of a virtual mailbox service, since a lot of scammers use them. And they can find out really easily through automated efforts just by looking at the actual address and seeing if there's a suite in them, in the address itself. And through manual efforts, they'll just put your address into Google, and they'll see that it's got a bunch of other businesses listed at that address because a bunch of other businesses use the virtual mailbox with a different suite number. So, this one doesn't even show their address in most pages on their website, which is really interesting. Who knows? Maybe they're not even running Google Shopping ads, but maybe they are, and they're just kind of like grandfathered in. I guess a lot of the companies, that are old e-commerce stores are grandfathered in nowadays. I'm trying to look and see if I can find their address anywhere on their website. Should be in the terms and conditions at the minimum, but I don't even see it here. So that's interesting. They may have just completely removed it and they don't have any issues with it. I don't know. But regardless of that, I think it's a great idea. You got to use your home address, I think, especially if you are operating out of your home, because, then they're not going to see other businesses. And you can even put onto then Google Maps, like, Google My Business, Google Business Profile, that your business is located at your house. And then that's going to help you get approved with Google Merchant Center. So just a little bit of a heads up there with Google Merchant Center. It's a big pain in the butt these days, and you need to build more trust with them by making sure your business has a physical location. It does come with a risk that if something goes wrong, people are going to be able to find you and come to your house, So if you don't want people knowing where you live, it's probably a good idea not to do that. And also, you might have trouble with Google Merchant Center at the same time. So it might be a good idea to do a different type of business altogether. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely, if you're not in our YouTube channel yet, definitely go subscribe. This is going to be in our masterclass in Patreon. So yeah, patreon.com/ecommerceparadise. And if you want private coaching from me, or if you want Google Ad Management services or scaling services, recruiting and uploading products, I am doing all that. You can go to calendly.com/Trevor for the coaching program application, and calendly.com/ecommerceparadise for the scaling program application. I'm definitely going to be continuing to help people doing this stuff because I know about it really well and I can help with little things. I know there's not a simple answer for everything, but at least I've done, you can have access to someone who has like 15 plus years of experience doing this stuff. So I'm happy to help. So I'll see you guys out there. Take care.